Hi, my name is Mateo Chavez Lewis and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm back in my parents' basement in the little studio they have set up for me here. My sublet ran out at the other apartment and my partner and I are thinking of moving in together, May or June. So this is the background you're going to get for videos up until then. And then come May or June, we'll be in the new place, which is really exciting. Today's video was inspired by a conversation I had with a couple of my colleagues. We were all talking about the importance of getting an agent for performers in the theater industry. And so I figured I would make a video about this just to kind of sum up the consensus of everything I've heard, all the wisdom I've heard on this topic from people in my community, and hopefully answer some questions that you might have if you are a young performer yourself. So we're going to talk about what is an agent, what does an agent do for you as a musical theater performer or as an actor, and we're going to talk about how to get an agent, and we're going to talk about should you get an agent, is it worth it? Part 1. What is an agent? So an agent literally is someone who represents you or someone who acts on your behalf. They work for you, so you are their client. And if you sign with them, you sign a contract that says that they are going to try to get you as many jobs as they possibly can within the industry. And in return, you are going to give them a small percentage, usually no more than 5 to 10% of what you earn. The big thing that's very important is to recognize that agents are not the be-all and end-all. They can be very, very helpful, and if you have a good one, it can be a huge advantage to your career. But a lot of people come out of theater school, and theater school kind of instills this mentality in people, at least that I've seen, which is that you have to get an agent or you'll never be a successful performer. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think you can definitely start out without an agent. And then depending on what you want to do, getting an agent may or may not be the best option for you. An agent is not a badge of honor. Having an agent doesn't make you magically better than everyone else, and not having an agent, more importantly, doesn't make you a failure. And that kind of leads us into part 2, which is how do you get an agent? Honestly, I wish there was a more surefire way of doing it, but the best way to get an agent is just to find connections in the industry. Meet people, talk to everyone you know. The people I know who have gotten signed with agents really early on in their careers have all gotten signed with that agent through connections. Most agents' offices will accept submissions, just cold submissions where you can just send them your headshot resume and a video of you doing a monologue or something. But in my experience, that very, very rarely leads to getting signed because agents only have so many spaces on their roster, which is like their list of how many people they're in charge of managing. And so they're going to probably choose to give those slots on their roster to people that they know, or people who are friends of a friend, you know? So I would say if you're looking to get an agent, the most important thing you can do is just go out and meet people. Go to every show, go to every social event and mixer in your theater community. I'm specifically speaking as a member of the Toronto theater community. We are really, really a friendly group here. We have lots of social events. I mean, pre-pandemic, there was a lot of like weekly musical theater karaoke nights like Singular Sensation, which is going to be starting up as soon as we possibly can at Mandy's Bistro at Danforth and Broadview. So if you're in Toronto, that's a great place to meet people in the theater industry. That's kind of where I cemented myself in the industry. And then just start submitting for jobs on your own. And when you're in a play, you can invite agents to come see it. And you can also meet other people who are in that show with you who might have agents. That's a great way to meet an agent, is through somebody else in a show. If you book a show by yourself without an agent and half the cast all has agents, then those people all become good references for you. They can pass your headshot along, they can pass your resume along if you're looking for an agent. But the best thing to do is just to wait it out, because eventually the agents will come to you if you continue to work hard and make yourself known in the theater industry. So instead of trying to chase down an agent, I would try to chase down the jobs, chase down the opportunities, and chase down the work. And then also chase down the people. Just meet people, talk to people, make sure people know who you are and respect you, and just be really nice to everybody. And then eventually, if you want to get signed, that opportunity will come up for you. I promise. Be patient, it will come. Should you get an agent? This is a question that a lot of young performers coming right out of theater school don't even think to ask, but they really, really should. Because getting an agent is kind of the default for a lot of young people coming out of theater school. And when I was in theater school, it was definitely kind of the default. If you got an agent straight out of school, you were successful, and if you didn't, you weren't successful, and everyone wanted an agent, and only the chosen few got signed right out of school, and it was a big popularity contest, and it was a big kind of competition. But that's not, having spent some time in the quote unquote real world now, in the industry, I can tell you 100% that's not actually really how it works. That's not really people's attitudes towards agents in the real world. Most audition submissions aren't just sent to agencies for them to submit their clients. Most audition submissions you can find on emailing newsletters. And the other thing is that when you have an agent, you don't have as much freedom because you have to do all of the auditions that your agent submits you for unless you have a good reason. If you really want to be in musicals and you're not booking any musical gigs, your agent might send you out on commercials, and then you have to go do that commercial where you eat the peanut butter sandwich for however many dollars. And maybe that's what you want to do, but if that's not what you want to do, then getting an agent might be something you want to reconsider. There's nothing wrong with auditions for peanut butter commercials. They pay really, really well. But if that's not what you want to spend your time doing, you may want to reconsider getting an agent, because that's a lot of what having an agent looks like, is going out on commercial auditions. And now for the 2 bonus questions are, do you need an agent? And what should you look for in an agent? So let's start with that second one. What should you look for in an agent? It's really important to remember that your agent works for you. You pay them a small amount of your wage in order to provide you with a service, which is representing you, making sure that your contracts are being negotiated fairly, and advocating for you to get cast and advocating for you to get treated well on the job. They are working for you. You are their client. So it's very, very important that you don't convince yourself that you need them at all costs and that they can walk all over you and you don't have anything to say about that. The good agencies, the big agencies that are big and reputable, AMI, Talent House, Newton Landry, DaCosta, these are Canadian talent agencies that are pretty well established and pretty reputable. These agencies are not going to take advantage of you, but there's so many smaller agencies out there, and not all of them have your best interest in mind, so you have to be really, really aware of the fact that if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you probably are, and you don't have to be. The agent's job is to work for you. Your job isn't to do whatever your agent tells you to do and not ask any questions. If there's no open line of communication, if you don't develop an honest, sincere relationship with your agent, that probably isn't a very good agent for you. So, you should look for an agent who wants the same career for you that you want for yourself. You should be honest about your career goals. Don't tell the agent what you think the agent wants to hear. Tell them honestly what you want. And if they're able to provide that for you, then they will make a really good partner for you in this industry. But if they don't want that for you, that's okay. You can find another agent, or you can stay without an agent. You can stay self-represented until the right agent comes along. It's not worth it to sign with an agent who you don't align with. So always, always be honest when you're talking to these agents. Be honest about what you want. If you don't want to go out for commercials and film and TV, and you just want to do theater, tell them that. Most agents probably won't sign you if you tell them that, because there's not that many opportunities just in the theater alone. But if you want to just do theater, and then for the rest of your income, because just doing theater isn't a consistent income for you, for the rest of your income you have a totally different thing that you do, that's a great option, and you don't need an agent to do that. Which leads us to our last question, which is, do I need an agent? And I will tell you that I don't have an agent. I've had a few opportunities where I've had conversations with agents about signing, but the big thing that stuck out to me in all of them was that the career that I want for myself is not a traditional musical theater performer's career. I still want to do those musical theater roles. I still want to do, like I'm doing Forever Plaid right now, which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, was postponed until February. So, you still have a chance to come see it if you haven't gotten your tickets. But what I want to do in between musicals is I want to play piano. I want to play in gigs. I want to accompany other performers. I want to teach. I want to do my YouTube videos. I want to work on my online courses that I'm starting. And so for that reason, because only part of my income I want to come from performing, and that's what I want my career to look like, I'm not necessarily the best candidate for an agent, and vice versa. So if you're trying to be 100% a performer, yes, go submit yourself for things, submit yourself for agencies, go out and meet people, submit yourself for jobs, invite agents to your shows, do all these things, keep the hustle going until that agent comes. That agent will come for you if you keep hustling, I promise. And if you don't want to be 100% a performer and there's other avenues that you're interested in exploring, you know, if you want to be a songwriter as well, that's great. You don't need an agent. You can be a performer who's self-represented, and then when you're not in a show, you can work on whatever other thing it is that you want to pursue. There's so much more freedom in this industry than theater school tells you that there is. Theater school sets you up to follow one very rigid path, but there are so many different career options, and you can pick a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that's the beauty of this industry to me. That's one of my favorite parts about it. So there you go. That's a little bit about agents and my philosophy on agents for young performers out there. I know a lot of young performers watch this channel, so this video is for you guys. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll talk to some of my performer colleagues who are at the highest level in Canada, and I'll see what they have to say about all your questions, and I'll let you know. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to tell me by clicking the like button, and subscribe to the channel. There's a ton of musical theater kind of stuff coming your way every single Saturday for the foreseeable future from this little studio. So I hope you'll join me, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.